your name, where you're from. This is also a networking opportunity, right? As much as we're from different schools and whatever, we're here to make connections. You never know. You know, in growing up, if you want to talk, raise up your hand. I'm the only one talking, so yeah. This is the thing. Now it might seem like you're from this school, you're not my friend, whatever. But guys, as you grow and you learn certain things, you realize networking is important. Making friends in different places, different positions, different professions, and at your level, different schools is also fundamentally important, right? Because we socialize, we need to coexist, we need to make relations. How amazing is it that after 2 years, you've met somebody here, and then 5 years later, they're probably a doctor somewhere, you're a lawyer, or they're an economist, or they're this. Life becomes easier. Morning.
My name is Seleka Nyamahube. I'm from Franstown Senior Secondary School. I've always wanted to be a judge, and I'm looking into seeing what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Hi guys. My name is Tamani Muhadi, but my friends call me Tammy. The name is hard. Yeah, Tammy. And okay, let me tell you the reasons why I came here. One, I want to see if what Viola Davis does in How to Get Away with Murder is actually what happens in the courtroom. Two, just I feel like we don't really know what actually happens in the courtroom. You never see a Botswana kid go and say, okay, I want to see a court session happen. How many of us have been to a court session before? Just look at how few of us it is. So I feel like Moot Court is a way of telling us, but it's okay, fine. We all want to be lawyers because we see it on TV. You want to be a lawyer? Let's see you be a lawyer. Right, Mrs.? Yes. Yeah.
I came here to learn about how to befriend other people who can speak for themselves. So that's what I think Moot Court is all about. I'm going to teach at Havana Private School, a school where we pride ourselves in giving back to the community. Those students who need to supplement their results and all that, that is where we groom them and polish them to be better future leaders. So I'm basically here because I want to know more about the Moot Court, and also because I'm interested very much in youth empowerment and all that. So that is why I'm here.
Yes. I'm just here to enjoy this experience and maybe know some future lawyers.
I'm Ruth. I'm an attorney at law. I'm here to show my support to this organization, which I wish was available during my time. Would have learned a lot of things. So yeah.
We're both attorneys who are admitted to practice in these courts, and we're very excited to host you guys for the first and inaugural launch of the Moot Court session.
And to answer this question, what is Moot Court? So hopefully in the next few minutes we'll each have a better understanding of what it is. It's a simulation of a court case. That's what Moot Court is. You get participants, you give them a set of facts beforehand, so you say this happened, and you ask them to then argue legal principles to that set of facts in a court of law before judges and argue your position. That's Moot Court. So it involves this. The first thing is that you've got to have written arguments. Depending on the competition, they would call them memorials or memoranda or heads of argument, but you must have written arguments. So you do your research, you write your argument, and you get a set of rules beforehand on how long they should be, when you must submit them. Then after the written arguments, you then come and then you argue before the adjudicators. Argue to what you have written. Part of the assessment involves marking the written argument and also the oral presentation or the oral argument that you will make. So that is what Moot Court is in brief.
So there are two parties. There's Adelaide Morake and there's Makharebe Private School. Some of you may already know the question or the fact of the case, but shortly what happened is that Adelaide is a student at Makharebe Private School, and it's an all-girls school and it's a Christian school. So what happened is that before their farewell party, she decided to treat OMG. Tonight is going to be lit. I can't wait to be with Dube, aka Fiona. I know it's a jaw dropper. Hashtag my bae hotter than yours. Hashtag set trends. Hashtag George Girls School. Hashtag the last dance. So it got a number of retweets, and then it finally reached the headmaster's office, and she called her in, read a regulation to her, regulation 13.1, which reads each girl may bring a partner to the school leavers farewell. He must be suitably attired and no older than 21 years of age. So the headmaster focuses on the word he and tells Adelaide that she cannot bring a lesbian friend or a female partner to the dance. And so obviously she goes to court and challenges the constitutionality of the school rule because it discriminates against her on the basis of her sexual orientation. And then the high school ruled in favor of the school. The argument having been that the rule is based on a Christian ethic and that a school leavers farewell dance is a privilege and not a right. So Adelaide decides to appeal, and this is where we are now at the Court of Appeal. And she argues that the rule about male partners is an unfair discrimination against her on the ground of sexual orientation, and that the school rule is too strict. So this is where we are today.
CACGB 1476017, and the matter between Adelaide Morake and Makharebe Private School.
My lord, this is a case about an innocent young girl who simply wants to take her love to prom. However, the respondents have chosen to make that impossible by enforcing Regulation 13.1, which prohibits her from taking somebody of the same sex to prom.
It says that from the sections of the Constitution conferring fundamental rights and freedoms, it could be seen that all freedoms could be surrendered by consent of the holder. And if a person voluntarily agreed to the surrender of any, and if to any of those rights, the limitation of or surrender would prevail.
So you've got one which is just a boys' school and another which is just a girls' school.
Yes, my lord.
Which means if the parents don't send her to that school, she's likely not to go to school, or she will have to go to a school in a very distant place.
Yes, my lord.
So would you say that at the time they took her to that school, the playing field was level insofar as consent, that the parents could have factored in the possibility that she's going to lose her rights to associate with a person of the same sex?
Oh, my lord,
Or
I don't
they
think...
were forced by circumstances. There are no option such that between them and the school there was no meeting of the minds that there is a waiver in this case of the right.
We therefore submit, my lords, that perhaps this is the opportunity to set a precedent that sexual orientation is one of the categories that needs protection in the Constitution. That's the Constitution.
All right, we shall reserve our judgment to a date to be announced.
Thank you guys. This brings us towards the end of our meeting today.
My name is Elekanyam. I'm from Princeton Senior Secondary School.
Thank you, Selekani.
In many movies, I see in court where one of the lawyers can stand up and say objection. And I did not see any. I want to confirm if it is realistic.
Okay. I'm going to pick on one of the participants and we'll judges to answer. Mr. Williams, that's the gentleman on the far right. There's a question for you. He's seen in the movie someone shouting objection. I think I've seen you do something similar in court.
So the thing is, we're at the Court of Appeal. Simulation here is at the Court of Appeal, and mostly it's not a trial, it's not an action, it's a motion matter. So what would happen is that the parties prepare what we call heads of argument, as in what exactly they are driving at before the court.
My name is Yandani Boko. I'm an attorney at Yandani Boko law firm. I've been practicing law since 2012, having graduated from the University of Botswana. Sometimes last year, a friend of mine informed me about it. At the time, she wanted me to be one of the judges, and that's how I got to know about it.
My name's Moemedi Dafa. I'm a partner here with Armstrong's Attorneys, and I've been with this firm for the past 11 years, since I was basically still studying at high school and my early days as a law student at the University of Victoria. Strangely enough, Percival just bumped into me at court, and he just somewhat wondered if I'd be willing to take part in something of giving back. And thereafter I met up with Tobeja, and she gave me more details. So it was more of direct interaction with the parties that are actually established in this whole movement.
I learned about Orate Africa from one of the members, that would be Percival. I think he's one of the legal officers of the institution. I think it's a great initiative in the sense that it engages youngsters from an early age, and it's an experience where they can at least get to critically think about issues, critically argue issues, and even invest on dialogue and resolving issues. It's not an easy job. The initiative which they've come up with is quite a brilliant one, and obviously there will be challenges along the way, but what is required for any great initiative is patience and diligence in everything that they do. So they shouldn't easily give up, they should work hard towards the goal.
Morrison Senior Secondary School. May Community Junior Secondary School? Oh, okay. I'm a former student at May. I did my form one day. So a big shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
Salopos CCJSS. Don't be shy. About you guys? Oh, okay. And last but not least, Cabroni International School.
Yeah, so good to hey.
That's more like it.